You ever feel like your life is just one way? You're constantly going one way? Or you're taking a look at that street over there and you see that sign right there? Do not enter? You constantly feel like life is a one-way street that you can't enter. And you can't figure out why. Are you always dating the same people over and over again, but yet it's not the person you're really most attracted to? But yet, somehow or another, you keep attracting the same person over and over again. And you think to yourself, what is it about my programming? What did I do to deserve this same person over and over and over again? You know what it is? It's your tape recorder or your 8-track, if you want to go back, or reel-to-reel playing inside your brain. It's all your subconscious programming that you've had since you were a kid. It might be your mother's voice telling you if you're a woman, you know, you gotta only date doctors. Only doctors, okay? You gotta marry a lawyer. Lawyers are the best. Yet, you've only been attracted to artists your whole life, but yet for some reason or another, you keep dating lawyers and you can't figure out why. Or you just seem to attract the same people over and over again, but yet you know that's not what you want. It's because in life, we've got this old tape recorder going. It's called our parents' fantasy. It's our parents' illusion of things. My mother had this illusion her entire life because she was never happy with my dad. So her entire life, she's basically told me, one day you're going to have your soulmate. I was 8 years old. One day you're going to have my soulmate. All I cared about was my soul ice cream cone. I could care less about a soulmate. I just wanted the sprinkles with the chocolate frosting on top, okay, with the rainbow sprinkles on it, and maybe a little vanilla swirl on it. That's all I cared about, but yet my mother told me over and over again, I am going to have my soulmate. I'm going to meet her. She's out there for me. Every relationship I've ever had that I've ever broken up with, my mom said, don't worry, your soulmate's out there for you. I never believed in that, but yet I always was searching for it. So I would find women that I would date, basically women that would just trigger off that emotion in me, that programming in me, my mother's programming. So everybody I dated that had something to do with soulmate or this incredible connection, I would immediately go, this is it, that's my soulmate. That's her, man, I recognize her. It was my mother's talk, because my mother was never happy with my father. My mother was never in love with my father. So she basically programmed my innocent brain to basically be soulmate hunting my entire life, when I've always been about soul connections and just experiences and living life day to day, because that's who I am. But it took me a long time to come up with my truth, to learn my truth, to live my truth when it comes down to relationships and dating. Are you somebody that's plagued from your old programming, maybe from your mom or your dad or your grandparents or where you grew up? Isn't it time you found out your truth? Isn't it time we figured out what your own internal voice should be saying instead of the voice of the past? It's almost like the ghost of Christmas past constantly haunting you, except it's a mother 300 feet high basically looking down on you and saying, you have to date lawyers, you must date doctors, you have to date this. Here's the deal, folks. Until you get naked and strip down and learn your truth, there's no way in the world you're ever going to have a successful dating life. Because when it comes down to dating and relationships, you got to figure out what you want, and you got to stand up for yourself, and you got to stop the repetitive patterns. It's time to lose the old tape recorder. It's time to destroy the 8-track. It's time to burn the reel-to-reel, and it's time you became a 21st century or 22nd century, whatever century we're in right now, person, and you had a hard drive that you can erase and you can re-record, and you got a digital that you can go and delete and throw it in the trash box. So if you want to join me and become naked, I strongly suggest you look below.